Hello, Kasturi. Thank you very much for being here in this podcast now, and also for coming to this seminar. Yeah. So thank you very much for your
Thank you.
participation
Thank
here.
you, Philip.
I would like to start this conversation asking you first if you can introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Kasturi Behari-Leak. I'm an associate professor and the dean of the Center for Higher Education Development at the University of Cape Town, South Africa. Yeah,
So yeah, you have come a long way. Yeah.
a very long way, 30-hour flight.
Okay.
But it's been, I mean, it's worth it. Just walking onto the campus today and meeting everybody, I'm so struck by the energy, the warmth, the hospitality of the Chilean people. I think,
Okay, that's
yeah,
very nice to know. Yeah.
it reminds me a lot about South Africa and Africa, and it feels like home.
Perfect. Oh well,
Yeah,
that's very
yeah,
good to know. So I really appreciate that you feel welcome.
yeah.
Well, I will continue. I would like to continue now asking you about your perception. What do you think of this seminar, this meeting that we had so far this morning?
I think it's fantastic. I mean, firstly, I mean just having the presence of the leadership in the room, which is very rare to have the undersecretary and then the president of your university. It's one thing to have them in the room, for them to all talk about teaching and learning in such an important way supports the work we do. And so it raises the status of teaching and learning, because as you know, research always gets the front line, and we have to struggle to make the case that teaching and learning is important. So having them in the room already signaled to me that you take it very seriously here. I think then coming out into this space, it really is an innovation space. And I think you blend so well the topics. When I walked around and looked at all the gamification, women in science, the games that people have come up with, it does. It does signal that you're ahead of the game in thinking about where we need to go to next. I think we all know the teaching and learning frameworks, and we could always talk about that, for ages. But to see new ideas, new energy, and a lot of young people, it's inspirational, and really good to see what Chile is doing, and especially this university, I suppose. From what I've read, it's the best university in South America. So really, really nice to be part of the event. And the organizers, I mean, you've really done a very professional job. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your kind words. We're really pleased to have you here, to have listened to have attended to your presentation at the beginning of this meeting, of this seminar this morning. And I would like to ask you a bit more about
Sure.
that, about what you told us about this meeting point between humanity and artificial intelligence in this particular case. But
Sure.
how I was very interested in how you mentioned, the importance of having this human
Yeah.
touch
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
innovation. So can you
Yeah.
tell us a bit
Yeah.
more about that, please?
So if you look at somebody my age, not very young, innovation is not something that comes easily. But when we think about it in the teaching and learning space, and look at the students and look at young staff, academic lecturers, one has to be open to the possibility. But if the possibility of innovation is only about making money, getting jobs, and moving ahead, then I have little interest in it. Because from where I come from, and maybe that's where age and experience comes in, I'm interested in people and their context, and the fact that we can take them along, that we leave no one behind. So while we have a sense that we're advancing and progressing, when you get into the debate with the universities about rankings and where we are in the league board, it's very easy to be carried away and not remember how important it is to understand who people are, where they come from, their background, their context. So I think the university is on a race to perhaps package everything and rebrand and sell and redesign. But I think in that race, we're going to lose the heart of it. And I don't feel artificial intelligence has the heart of it. The human has the heart of it. And that's what we have to bring to the deliberation. Our soul, our heart, our passion. And that's where the two meet. We cannot be slaves to the new master, which is AI, right? We've got to command it. We've made AI. But we've got to command it in a way that is full of humanity. Because at the end of the day, you look through all the, the nations, the countries. The one thing that stands out, it's not your credentials or your qualifications or what professor you are. It is about how you can relate to people, right? And I think this is an important lesson for young people to understand,
Perfect.
to balance both.
Yeah, very, very interesting what you say. Thank you. I would like to finish now asking you, because I know that much of your work is focused on the decolonization of learning. And I'm really struck also by some concepts that you talk about, like I have it here, the epistemic disobedience, for example, or the delinking.
Sure.
So I would like to finish now asking you, how do you see, because you talk about like giving importance to background, to our own backgrounds. So how do you see this collaboration, this South-South collaboration also provides a special look forward or towards innovation?
Right. So the language of decolonization is very complicated, but the heart of decolonization is very simple. It's about seeing people and hearing them, making them visible, and not reducing them to less than. That's simply what decolonization is. It's about getting that self-esteem back. It's about understanding what knowledge we've been fed, and do we see ourselves in the knowledge? When you work with scholarship or knowledge that doesn't represent you, then you feel very small. But when you work with indigenous knowledge or knowledge coming from a particular place, like you say, South-South, it has a voice, it has a representation. And for me, that is where innovation also needs to understand. Epistemic disobedience is not disobedient as in undisciplined or unruly, but it's claiming the right to have a voice. Through the research publications, through the conferences, to understand that we have something to say. And I think we can use that voice with innovation to reframe it, to re-own it. So that's where I see the two of them meet.
Well, thank you very much, Kasturi. Then, well, thank you for being here in the podcast, and thank you for coming all this very long way to be our main speaker today in the seminar.
Thank you very much, Philip. Thank you.
You.
Thanks a lot.